Do you want more? More time, more balance, more love, more sex, more money, more real, and less bullshit? This is the Women Wanting More podcast with Dr. Karen Osborne. Real life, real stories, plus real tips to get you more of what you want.
So sister, right now in my life, I feel like there's this massive shift that's coming. And you don't need those Facebook memories and, you share them up and stuff. And so the one that came up today, which I share, was a picture of my husband and our youngest boy, Kai, who at the time then would have been two and a half. And we were still in Alberta, where we used to live. We still had the practice. I think I had my network marketing business, but I was probably on the way out, like in the next week after this. And Ed is teaching our youngest son, Kai, how to fly a kite. Like, cute little picture. He's like miniature looking in the picture. And, but I looked at that and I was like, fuck, like I look at that picture and I just go, I don't even recognize the life that we once had. And it was only 2 years ago. And do transformations and shift happen like an overnight thing? No. But the possibility of what can happen in even a short period of time, to me, 2 years is not a long period of time in the grand scheme of things. The possibility of what can shift is massive. And so like in that year, we ended up, we had the practice on the market, but we never sold it. And so we ended up closing the doors. We just walked away, wrote a bunch of checks and said, it's time for us to go. We put our house on the market. We sold it. We moved here to Victoria, BC, Canada, where we now live on Vancouver Island. We, went all in with our businesses, which is outside of the scope of chiropractic now. Like everything shifted. Like we moved here. We didn't really know anybody. We have friends who live out here and we kind of since reconnected with, but it was literally like just a listen to the voice and follow. Like just jump into the fucking abyss of I don't know what the fuck we're doing. And even throughout the whole process, as we're like, we're looking for a new house to rent here and we're selling shit and we're getting movers and all this kind of stuff. There were several times, probably just about every single day, that my husband and I would look at each other and say like, oh my God, what the fuck are we doing? Like, what is happening? Like, I can't believe we're doing this, but we're doing it. And so when people take a look at what we've created and we'll go like, man, I want that, or that's inspiring and stuff. And I think there's some people, and maybe this is you sisters, that think that somehow like we got to some place and then now we're just going to coast. Like we're just going to get comfortable. We're just going to, and both my husband and I kind of feel like with our business, with our marriage, like with everything, we're like, there's a fucking shift coming. And it's not like just we vision boarded it or we're throwing a dart up on a fucking target. Like it's things that we have in the works right now where there's a massive shift that's coming. And so why am I sharing this with you today? Because I think so many of you think that, number one, that once you get to a certain place, that's it. But like, think of how ludicrous that is. That's like saying, I'm going to get my body to a certain, weight or body fat percentage or how it looks or how I feel energy-wise, and then I'll just stop doing all the shit that got me there. Right? That's why most people fail when it comes to the things they want with their body, because they stop doing the things that work. And so this way of living, this what I often call in the podcast, living a life of more, creating a life of more, never stops. So I know that you might be hearing this right now and you're like, oh shit, Karen, like it's hard enough, this shit. Like I gotta keep doing it? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And just like 2 years ago that we were making this massive jump and big shifts in our life, it's like I feel like we're on like bubbling this, there's this thing that's kind of rising up right now that it'll be another big jump for us. And every single time that we have done this, just like we did 2 years ago, just like we'll be doing this year in different areas of our life, it is not only, number one, just know it never gets less scary. You just trust it more. And number two, it is always something that I simply have to trust and to surrender to the process, that these are all things that need to be happening in my life. If I choose it. Otherwise, I'll stay in the place of just being, like everything's good. It's good. But it's not great. Like things don't have to be terrible for you to take action and to have this feeling underneath you like, okay, I've got to here. Now what is next? And that is okay. That's not about like, you're not grateful where you are or what you've produced in your life or what you've created or who you've become. Like, be proud of that shit. But understand that because you want more of it, because you're searching for what is the next level, it doesn't mean that you're not grateful. It doesn't mean that you're not okay with where you are, but you know that there's something next for you. So here's your more tip for you than today. Where is something right now that's happening in life that you can feel this shift and you're retracting from it? Like, you're scared of it. You're like, oh, no, not ready. I'm not enough. I don't have the money yet. I don't have the time yet. Like, I just don't know enough yet. I don't have all the how figured out. Which, by the way, that shit never happened. So why don't you just be honest and just say, my wanting to know the how is really simply my fear of wanting to execute because I don't know. For you to jump into these places, it requires you jumping into an abyss, into a void, in a place that you don't know. But yet it is necessary for you if you want to really, it's like the universe is holding our hand out and saying, you know what? We're ready, man. Like, you are ready. Let's go. Let's do this. By the way, I'm going to take you to places that you don't know yet, but like, you just need to understand, like, it's good. Trust it. Surrender. Like, I got this. This is the voice speaking to you, telling you these things. And so where is it right now in your life that you're feeling this is happening? And you're going to journal all this shit down, by the way. So journal this, number one. Number two, are you actually leaning into it? Or are you like pulling back from it because you're afraid? And here's the third piece of this, because I'm gonna take a big leap and say for a lot of you, you're not leaning into it. Like, you're running from it. You're fucking scared of it. Is what is it costing you to think that you have to wait until you have more time, more money, more resources, more like team to help, like all this shit. Like, what does it cost you right now to not jump? And to see what insights come up from that. So 3 things before we finish up the podcast. Number 1, I launched a Women Wanting More store a few weeks ago, and this is apparel for you to wear who you are. This is bigger than just cool t-shirts and tanks and beanies and mugs and hoodies. Like, this is for you to really own who you are as a woman who wants more. And I'll be speaking more and more into this. So I create this for you to be able to wear who you are so that the inside beliefs align outside with the clothing that you actually wear. And for you to identify yourself as, I'm part of this tribe, I'm part of this movement, be fucking proud of that. So go over to shop.womenwantingmore.com. Right now there's still free shipping, but it will not remain forever. So hop over now so I can take care of that shipping for you. Shop.womenwantingmore.com. Number 2, if you don't subscribe to the Women Wanting More newsletter, you're out of your fucking mind. You need to go and do that right now so you can get the More For action guide to learn how to start your day in power, as well as that video training. In addition, I'm going to send you 2 video trainings that I created inside of an exclusive private Facebook group that teaches you how to drop your stories and create a new you. So that is over at drkarenosborne.com/action guide. And number 3, there's a lot of you are listening to this message and wondering why you're not executing, right? When you're like, oh my God, the same shit. I hear you, Karen, and you nod your head and you go, yes, amen. And then you send me a message, you go, this is so great. And then you do nothing. So I created an incredible group called the Sisterhood a little bit over a year ago, which will have you be with other powerful women that are like you, that want similar things. You do not have to do this alone. And I'm going to give you the tools that'll teach you how to have an amazing marriage, how to create power within your body, how to create connection with your children. And so that is inside the Sisterhood. You can actually try it for free for the next 7 days for $1. $1. Don't tell me you're not worth the fucking $1. Because if you are, just stop listening to the podcast. Like, what are you doing this for? You need to start investing in you, even if it's $1 to start. So that's over at drkarenosborne.com/sisterhood. So I will talk to you in the next episode. A life of more is just one step away from you doing the fucking work every single day. I love and appreciate you.
To get the show notes of each Women Wanting More episode, including the How to Get More tip, subscribe to the newsletter at drkarenosborne.com/newsletter.